Letters podcast number 2162, Tiny Acts of Boldness. This is episode 3 in our topic this week, which is brave enough. So looking at things that are to make us brave, or how we are brave, and just small acts each day. And today we're talking tiny acts of boldness. I apologize for being almost 15 minutes late. I got hooked up watching Instagram reels, and there were some really funny ones of mishaps with cooking that I was just cracking up over. So I apologize for that, but I am here in good spirits. Had a lot of good laughs, and good belly laughs are good for the soul. So when you do the deep, good belly laughs, it is actually an aerobic exercise for your internal organs. Keeps them rolling. So with that in mind, let's have a look at what tiny acts of boldness can produce that helps us to be brave enough. So courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a quiet whisper that says, this matters, I'm doing it anyway. What the tiny acts of boldness teach us, boldness isn't about big dramatic moves. It's about choosing bravery in small, everyday ways. Tiny acts of courage add up. Saying no, setting a boundary, making a call, hitting the publish button. Yes, that one's coming up. Every small, bold act is proof that you're listening to your inner voice and honoring it. You don't have to wait until you feel ready to be bold. You just have to be willing. How many times are we always saying, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Just go and do it. If you want to do it, just do it. Don't wait to be ready, because you'll never get it done. Stop waiting until you feel ready to do it, and just do it. There are some amazing things that will happen because you finally said, screw this. I'm through waiting to be ready. Let's get it done. Sometimes just say yes and do it, and then figure it out afterwards. Who was it that said that? Richard Branson. Wasn't he the one that said, say yes, then figure it out? That's basically what you're doing here. When it happens, you do one small scary thing and you feel your confidence grow. It's like, and I did this one time. I was in a class and we were doing email marketing, and I don't like getting spammed by email. So I was very hesitant to do this because I don't like getting spammed by email and stuff. Yet my thing was I had to press that button. Everything was ready to go. I just had to press the button. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, and the guy is at the table with me going, come on, Helen, you can do it. You can do it. Just press the button, press the button. I kept going like this. And then finally it's just sort of like, take a deep breath, blow it out, press the button. And it's sort of like, it's gone. But I felt myself sit up from being hunched down over my computer. I suddenly found myself sitting up straight and going, I did that. I pressed the button. Yes, go me. It was a little private celebration going on, but the guys at the table were all very helpful with that and celebrated with me when I finally pressed the button. It was the first time I'd ever done an email marketing campaign. And so to me, that was a huge step. You realize your boldness doesn't need an audience to be powerful. In that case, I had an audience because I had people backing me up and stating, yes, you can do this. Sometimes you don't need that audience to be powerful. You just need to find it within yourself. You need to take that bold step and then be an audience of one. Or two in this case. We've got Zeffie here on hand. Wherever. Oh, no, she's in the other room laying on the cold tile. You stop underestimating the strength it takes to show up honestly. There are times that you've got to, show up in who you are. Be who you are. When you show up, then show up to do whatever it is you're there to do. There are times I don't feel like showing up for something. I don't want to get on a Zoom with anybody. I really don't want to do that. I don't want to go to my mastermind group that day. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. I'm not feeling 100%. But I show up anyway. I show up in my authentic self anyway. People notice that the whole spark's not there. And some of them will ask, are you okay? And I'll go, yeah, because I always present that good front. And other times I'm just like, nope, I really don't want to be here. And they're like, why? And I'll go into why I don't want to be there. I just don't feel like being here, but I'm going to be here anyway. And that in itself is a strength, that even if you don't want to be there, you show up anyway. And that's when the magic happens. Oh my gosh, magic happens so much when that happens. It's absolutely incredible. Those are the times that when I really don't want to be there and I show up anyway, that is when I get the biggest impact out of the sessions that I've showed up for. It's when if I'm doing a discovery call with a client, I get the contract because I showed up. Even though I wasn't feeling 100%, I just mentally, I wasn't ready to be there. I told that person I would be there, I would be on that call, and I was. And that helped. So sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and show up anyway. You really do. You become the kind of person who trusts themselves even in the quiet moments. When you show up when you don't feel 100%, or you take that bold step to press that button, or you take that bold step to overcome that one scary thing, or you take that bold step and show up when you really don't want to, you learn to trust yourself because you've done it. You've done it once, you can do it again. Yeah. So how do we carry that forward? We look for one tiny moment. Look for one tiny moment today to practice boldness. Just one. Just need one tiny moment every day. Let your definition of brave be personal, not performative. So what is the definition of brave to you? Is it showing up when you really don't want to? Is it finally just saying, okay, I am done with this waiting to be ready thing. I'm just going to move ahead and do it. What does brave mean to you? Make it personal to you, not a performance. Keep a record of your small acts of courage because they're shaping your story. They're bringing out who you really are. And, the spin journaling comes in huge on this, is helping you. Today I did blah, 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 blah. Not looking for any recognition, but the fact that I did that. And in your legacy connection, the big stories we pass on are made up of tiny decisions. The quiet no, the brave yes, the moment someone stood tall when no one was watching. These acts ripple outwards more than we ever realize. Somebody will see that you did that. You stood up to something. You just quietly stood up and said yes. Or maybe you stood up and said no. But somebody may have been watching you, and those ripples will filter out. And your reflection questions for today to go in your Porch Light Reflection Journal. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to order me another one of these today. That's on my to-do list tonight. So we've got 4 questions for you. They are in the description below. But number one, what small, bold step did you recently take that you haven't celebrated yet? Celebrate these steps. Oh my gosh, when you take that bold step, celebrate it. It doesn't matter if it was just a tiny one. You did it anyway. In what area of your life are you being invited to show quiet courage right now? Is there something going on in your life where you're just sitting there quietly watching what's going on, but you have that courage in yourself that you know that one, you've shown up quietly, but you're ready to step up if you need to? What does boldness mean to you? When no one else is watching, what does boldness mean to you? And that's always a good one too. I always get asked the question, who are you when nobody is watching? Are you the person that everybody gets to see? When the cameras are off and the lights are off, who are you? Am I the same person that you guys get to see night after night after night after night? When I turn the cameras off and I turn the light off and I close down the podcast for the night, who am I when no one's watching? Pretty much what you see here. There's not a lot of difference. There is some performance in some ways, because there are days that I am tired, my brain is dead, I'm just not feeling 100%. So there are times when I do have to put a slight performance on, but usually when what you see is what you get. Here I am. And number 4, what's one tiny act of boldness you could take this week that feels aligned with who you're becoming? I love that question. What's one tiny act of boldness you could take this week that feels aligned with who you are becoming? And our closing thought for you this evening is your tiny act of boldness today could be the turning point you've been waiting for. It's not about being loud. It's not about being loud. It's about being true. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.